Hey everyone, this is Dave coming at you with another ZBrush tutorial, and today we're going to talk about really being able to refine the contours of your sculpt. And this is pretty wild. So let's say you're really trying to get the contour of the knee worked out, and this area, it's kind of funky, right? There's a lot of kind of alternating curves and whatnot, and you can zoom in and look, but it's often a little bit difficult to tell exactly how round the calves are and just how all of that stuff is going. So this is something that could help. What you can do is you can append Cube 3D here, and we'll go ahead and select it, and actually I'll go ahead and move it down over here. And we've got this giant cube, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to make it quite a bit smaller, and we'll scale it down, we'll make it like really thin, like really quite thin actually, like super thin, okay, something like that. Don't have to get too crazy with it. And then I will move it over into, the screen recorder's being a little bit funky. I'll move it over into the calf area. Just move it down there. Alright, so we're sort of in that calf region, and I guess while I'm here I think I'm going to make this just a little bit thinner still. Alright, so we don't want to make it so thin that it vanishes, but we want to make it pretty thin. And then what we can do is use a little known but fun feature of ZBrush called Array Mesh. And what this will do is this will essentially repeat your mesh. So we're going to go ahead and click on Array Mesh, and we're going to make, I don't know, something like 8 copies, and we'll move them in Y. So as you change this value, you can see that we now have a stack of these super thin cubes. And you're like, okay, well, that's cool. We now have, I don't know, some kind of like radiator looking thing. But this is what's really neat, and this is why ZBrush is so cool. So we can actually go back in here to our subtool list, and we can click this mysterious down arrow in our figure, and it says start, and you're like, hey, what is that? So that is the beginning of a live Boolean, and then we can click on the subtraction icon. So we're now subtracting, we're starting with our figure, and then we're subtracting this grid or array of cubes or panels. And if we click on live Boolean, wow, it's like we have this instant set of guides, and we can actually see exactly what the contour is looking like. You can see how round you've made your calves, or if they've gotten too pointy or whatnot, or what's going on. And then you're like, okay, well, that area right behind the knee is a little bit complex. I want to see what that's like. You can actually just click on move, right, with all of this stuff still active, and just slide these up the knee and take a look at the contour. And you're like, okay, well, yeah, I can see these little divots here, and then the fat pad behind there. The tendons go around, and you're like, okay, this is all cool and good. I mean, it's really awesome that we can see this contour. And this is, again, where it gets even a little bit more magical. Let's say you want to go in and make a change. You're like, oh, this is cool, but these divots are a little bit pronounced for my taste. You can actually go in and just start sculpting. And as you sculpt, you can see your contour lines changing. And that's actually pretty subtle, but I mean, we can actually go and severely move the mesh, and as we're doing this, we're seeing these contour lines change. So you can be sculpting or rounding out this form or trying to square it off or whatnot, and then you can see in real time these super helpful contour lines. And I don't know, I sort of tried this on a whim, and I was really amazed that it actually worked. But the live Booleans are a real deal in ZBrush, and something like this can definitely help you go in and get trickier parts of your mesh that you may not be able to see with just the shading on. Then if you don't want to look at this, you can just click off live Boolean, and turn that off and go back to normal sculpting, but otherwise it's super handy. Alright, cool. So that's what I wanted to go over today. I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, if you did, feel free to like and subscribe, and I will catch you next time. Alright, happy ZBrushing.